Ready? Excuse me. Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome. We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world. I'm going to apologize now. I've been clearing my throat for 3 days.
It's been quite some time since we've sat and done this.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we
Get
go through
get them in the can.
those periods where we like to knock them out
in
one shot. How you doing?
I've been clearing my throat for a couple of days now, so every once in a while I may go.
You mean like my butt?
No, it's like this dry thing sitting in the back of my throat, right at the top of my chest.
I'm sorry.
It really bites. And my whole brain is take a sick day.
Well, speaking of your brain, we got 3 rules for civility.
We do have 3 rules for civility. Yes, no judgment, nothing personal. Don't be a dick.
Your brain shouldn't be a dick.
No.
Should be civil at all times.
It shouldn't, but
And nothing against your brain, but I got something I want to talk about this week.
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, well, I gave you 2 warnings leading up to this because you know how much we love politics, but that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about. I had an on and off week, You typically tend to ask me how was your day, and I always, the first thought in my mind when you ask me that is are you expecting me to say something different? Because it's really just...
No, it's more of an obligatory thing that I'm just how was your day? Now ask me about mine.
I mean, you can tell me about yours anytime.
It's a little tit for tat kind of a thing.
My days are usually always the same.
Yeah.
And the only thing that really kind of breaks that up is what I choose to listen to.
Uh-huh.
And as it's known in the podcast world, at least to our listeners, I listen to a mix of gaming podcasts and regular podcasts, just talking. And
what's regular podcast?
Joe Rogan.
Are we a regular podcast? Joe Rogan's not a regular podcast.
How is he not regular?
He gets into controversial stuff.
So I only started listening to him, and I don't listen to him every day or regularly, just every once in a while, depending on who's on. But to me, seems like the everyman's podcast, because there's no criteria for who he decides to have on. He's got everybody.
I guess
I've seen him interview everyone from Trump to Musk to Zuckerberg to Robert Downey Jr. to actors, artists, athletes, politicians.
Okay.
But I'll get to that. So again, I listen to a mix to break up the monotony of everything from games to politics to whatever. And 2 in particular podcasts struck me this week. Struck me as thought provoking. I always look for the thought provoking stuff because I like that stuff. How about you? Do you like things that get you thinking?
Do I like things that get me thinking? Thinking about what?
Anything. Just something that
all podcasts that I listen to are for purely entertainment purposes. I have very little interest in information. I don't want.
Why that's funny to me.
I don't want information. I want something that's going to allow me to actually disengage from thought processes, because I thought process all day, every day. And I typically will turn on podcasts that are, a bunch of gobbledygook because it makes me giggle.
Okay, fair enough. That's what my music is, that I listen to on the road is for.
Mm-hmm.
My entertainment, if you will, the gaming podcasts or the silly podcasts. But, as I've said before, I like staying informed. I like knowing what's going on in the world. And you and I both very well know that there are things about our jobs that really just trigger and set us off.
Yeah.
So the theme, the topic, if you will, that I wanted to tackle, I mean, we've talked about hypocrisy ad nauseum.
It's all we seem to talk about nowadays.
I want to talk about responsibility and integrity. I think we've talked.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
What's that? Responsibility? No.
I feel like we've talked about integrity a bit, but you've made it a point. You've pointed out to me that it's not that just certain things are happening more now than before. It's that I'm noticing them more, which no one ever really put it to me like that. Like when I notice somebody that doesn't use a turn signal,
Yeah.
or somebody that cuts somebody off.
There's a word for finding patterns. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is. There's a word for finding patterns that are not there also. But there's a word for it when you begin noticing patterns because of something that's going on in your brain.
Like being a mail carrier is certainly not my first driving intensive job, but I honestly don't recall noticing these things nearly as much from the time I started driving in 2005 to say 2015 or 16.
Okay.
You know, those two in particular, people cutting people off, people not using turn signals. That's just in the driving. But I mean, I've also noticed people cutting corners. I've noticed people being lazy and not doing what they're supposed to do, or not doing them in a timely manner, or, you know, trying to get away with it.
You're talking about more so now than before?
I mean, I'm certainly noticing it a lot more now. I don't know that I'm looking for it.
But is it possible that you're finding it now more because when it happens, it affects you more?
It triggers my anger because I've made a concerted effort in the last, I want to say 8 or 9 years, right around the time Henry was, you know, on the way, to change myself for the better, to think about things differently, to not take as many shortcuts, to not inconvenience other people, to always tell the truth, even if it's gonna, you know, make me look bad. Because I did used to take shortcuts. I did used to be lazy, a lot lazier than I am now. And it affects me in a way where I don't like that I'm making this effort to try and better myself, and there are people out there who really just don't seem to care about anybody else.
It bothers you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I told you twice this week that I was going to tie this. Not the politics is not the theme, but it's going to help me illustrate my point. So I regularly listen to Steven Crowder.
Okay.
And one of the it's touch and go, but like, I mean, there have been periods where I regularly. And one of the first things you and I disagreed on was the content of his shows. No,
we did not disagree on the content of his shows. We disagreed on his style of interview.
Okay. And you brought up an example of what if John Oliver, and you brought him up by name and said this and did this. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think we were talking about like abortion rights or
recently.
No, this was when we first got together.
Oh, okay.
Somehow it came up, and you know, the only John Oliver I'd ever heard is what I'd heard clips of, either bits on YouTube or bits that they showed on Crowder's podcast. Now, I will admit that I know that his podcast is satire. Okay. It's mostly, I mean, he does.
Are you talking about John Oliver?
No, I'm talking about Crowder.
Oh, okay.
I don't know enough about John Oliver to make a determination.
Well, no spoilers, but it's also satire.
Yeah. And I'm going to make my point in a second. So I've known for a long time that it's mostly just, you know, jokes. It's comedy. They're trying to, you know, do whatever. That's their thing. Okay. I've never taken it so seriously. I've never taken any political podcast so seriously, because at the end of the day, these people are editorializing. You know, they are not really all that qualified to speak intelligently.
None of these people are pundits. They're the psychic friends networks of politics. They're just out there giving you a taste of one side. That's all they're doing.
I saw a reel last weekend, I think it was Johnny Carson talking about why he didn't talk about that. I know, and that made so much sense to me.
Yes.
I'm like, this man had the right idea. You don't use your position to influence people when it comes to politics.
Correct.
And he seemed very sincere about that, and I love that take on it. I wish that the Jimmy Kimmels and the John Olivers and the Steven Crowders and the Stephen Colberts of the world would go back to comedy and the Jon Stewarts, you know.
If it weren't for I think the fact, and we talked about this the other night too, that people make politics like the core of someone's character. Some, you know, like the first thing people want to know about you these days is how do you lean? And that will tell them whether or not they will give you the benefit of the doubt in learning more about you, or if they will just judge you from the get-go. Either way, one way or the other. That's where the core of character sits for them. It has nothing to do with integrity. It has nothing to do with personality. It's all about that they believe they have your number if they know one specific thing about you, and that is your political leanings.
Like, to be completely honest, okay, I started listening to Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro mainly just to get the news of the day and maybe chuckle a little bit when they decide to poke fun at whatever is going on. That's really it. I saw the change my mind memes all over Facebook. I'm like, who is this guy? So I looked him up one day and I gave him a chance. Shapiro, I saw on I think he was on Piers Morgan, and they would regularly debate each other. I mean, they're, despite differing opinions, very good friends, and they, you know, have disagreements all the time, but they respect each other's opinion, and I like that. But I, again, understand. Now, what I like about those two in particular, I know people say can't stand Shapiro's voice. You're not the first person I've heard say that, but it's, God, I know, he gets old after a while.
It just reminds me of, like, you know, in 101 Dalmatians, where they're sounding the alarm, and that little tiny dog just yips until it falls. That's all I think of when I hear Ben Shapiro's voice.
Not a sponsor, not endorsing whatsoever, but I tune in to get the facts of the day mainly because they're not legacy media. And, you know, at least Shapiro in his own right, I mean, he is a lawyer. That is, you know, his primary, you know, occupation. He is a lawyer. And to Crowder's credit, they always list their sources. They always have their sources available for everything that they report on the show. So if they are to be wrong or to be challenged, anybody can go and challenge them. So what I'm getting at with this is, earlier this week on an episode, they showed clips of a John Oliver show where he was talking about the conditions of the people who are being detained before they get deported and what ICE is doing and all that stuff. Now that was a major selling point during the election. It's something that a lot of people seem to be talking about right now. But a lot of the things, according to Crowder's camp, that Oliver was saying on his show were verifiably false.
Okay.
And it bothered me because, again, Crowder and Company shows all their sources for their information and what they challenge him on, what they challenge Oliver on. But Oliver can go on his show and say what he wants and editorialize and, you know, make his claims, and it's okay, even if it's wrong.
Because, and I've said this to you and a whole bunch of people in my life, John Oliver does not report the news. If you are going to Comedy fucking Central, people, for your news, I think that says more about your character than which way you lean politically.
The problem,
because I think that makes you look like a big dum-dum.
There's a problem with that, though, because there are people who are, in fact, tuning in to Comedy Central and those shows.
People are big dum-dums.
That's your opinion, though.
Yes, it is my opinion.
That's your opinion. Now, I agree with your opinion. However, anybody that does not agree with you would probably be insulted by you saying that.
Oh, well.
Because, to their credit, I don't know too much about Oliver, but I know Jon Stewart has gone on and made very impassioned speeches about gun control and, you know...
Which he's allowed to do because people have opinions.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's I mean, again, it's an opinion.
But what I can't get behind is that if you are going to... doesn't matter which way you lean. If you're going to report what's going on in the world, if you're going to use it as part of your, you know, your criteria for your show... Not criteria, but like if it's on the docket for the day, why make stuff up? Why let things be colored in a certain way? Why not just give the facts and then make light of it? Why go out of your way to implicate that, things that you're about to say are true or truthful when you're not really giving the whole story.
This goes back to the point that I didn't have the chance to make previously to the point you're making, because the conversation was shifted on me. But I was trying to make the point of saying that people today place, in my opinion, too much stock on a person's political leanings for understanding their core character.
Right.
And the reason why everyone talks about politics, whether it's truthful, a flat out lie, or just a whole bunch of jokesy wokesies, literally is because that's all people en masse seem to give a fuck about these days. I could be world renowned. We're getting there. Thank you. Yeah. I could be world renowned. I could get up on a soapbox and say that the Beatles are the worst band ever recorded. It's literally just my opinion, but maybe that'll change people's minds about the Beatles. And who knows, that shit'll just trickle downhill until, no one is downloading the Beatles records anymore. Who knows?
Is that what you're aiming for?
No. I don't have a thing.
You just want your fucking Yellow Submarine.
No, but literally, it's like everyone gets so up in arms because it's about politics. Because it's about politics, literally. So everyone gets all butthurt because it's about politics. And that's just, it's too serious to make fun of. No, it's not. Nothing is too serious to make fun of. Literally.
No.
Nothing is too serious to make fun of. You can find it offensive, but that doesn't make it too serious to make fun of.
I'm not offended by anything.
I'm not suggesting you are. I'm saying that the reason why these people focus all of their attention on these shows that are quote unquote for entertainment purposes on politics is because it's all people want to hear about, except people like me who really want to hear about anything else.
So let's shift gears a little bit.
Sure.
Later on in the week, I caught Rogan's most recent interview with Musk.
Okay.
So, at least in the political world, everybody's up in arms because Musk is the head of Doge. There's talk of him being a Nazi. There's talk of him making it so that people can't get their Medicare benefits, that people are going to lose their jobs, that he has access to personal records and bank statements and information and shit, and that, why should the wealthiest man in the world have this?
Is he the wealthiest man in the world?
He is currently, yeah.
Are you a king?
He's a king. Like, days after the election, he made that one, Fortnite-looking gesture.
Yeah.
At least it looked like a Fortnite thing to me, and they said it was a Nazi salute, and they're still running with that. Rogan's had him on 4 or 5 times now. Rogan, to me, at least, like I said before, has appeared to be the guy, at least until the election, that would interview anyone and everyone, didn't want to say which way he leaned, seemed to be the most accommodating in the sense that, he'll entertain anyone's argument no matter what side of the aisle you're on. And he'll point out what makes sense to him, what doesn't make sense. He's again until so there's the first 15 minutes of the episode. They're talking basically about what people in the media, in the legacy media, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, all the major ones, are saying. Now this isn't satire. This is mainstream news, saying on a regular basis about Elon Musk's character. Now, granted, it's easy for any common person to not be okay with the guy because he's got more money than anyone. He can do anything he wants. He can buy anything he wants. But you're going to sit up there and you're going to stand on your soapbox and speak ill of the man who doesn't have to do this, doesn't have to be involved in government, doesn't have to do anything. He could go play with SpaceX and Tesla and PayPal and whatever the hell else he does. And you're going to sit there and call him a Nazi when what more does he have to gain?
Can I ask what this has to do with getting angry that people cut corners?
It makes me angry that the people who cut corners are also usually the same people that would say things like this, that would speak ill of a person just because they don't like something about their character, just because they sway one way or they think something or they feel something that isn't in line with society at large.
It's childish.
It is, but at least I am starting to notice more and more people who are in that camp, and I can't understand it. I can't get behind it. I've been on the receiving end of that a fair amount in my life, being misjudged, being spoken about negatively because people can.
Mm-hmm.
So I can empathize with people. I mean, you know, in that same vein, and I'll shift off of politics after this statement, but you have Musk, you have RFK Jr., you have Tulsi Gabbard, you have Donald Trump, and whoever else I can't seem to think of at this point. All former Democrats who are now either Republicans and or just leaning right. People who they've gone on record saying, oh, these Democrats in the House and Congress loved me when we were Democrats, but now all of a sudden it's the end of the world because we're Nazis and we're in line with the Republican Party. And it's
because
just
all that matters, like I said, all that matters is that someone knows the one thing that matters the most to them, and that's which way you lean. That's who you align yourself with.
Now, my opinion is that that's fucking pathetic.
It is. I agree. I don't disagree on that.
Now, I'm done with politics. I'm done with talking about the late night hosts. I'm done talking about the politicians. There have been many instances that in the time that we've been married, that I've come to you about, that I've gone to friends and family about, where, issues that we've had, say with the neighbors or with people at our jobs. And the thing I can't seem to figure out is when you want a problem to go away and you've gone through every single appropriate, widely, universally accepted channel to try and fix it, to get it to be resolved, and that's still not enough. Again, the people who allow these things to continue seem to be the ones who cut corners, who are lazy, who don't care about anyone but themselves, who are very selfish, very inconsiderate. Because, again, there have been many instances where, like, for example, we shouldn't have had to deal with them next door, slamming their door, parking in front of our door, things like that. And we had to take them to court. And then even then it still didn't stop. And it's just like, you said to me during that whole, fiasco, you have to be prepared to deal with the consequences of whatever you end up doing. Mm-hmm. What I really wanted to do was go kick their door in. But we all know that wouldn't have ended well.
Well, apparently somebody already did that. They must have pissed people. They must have pissed a lot of people off. I don't fucking know.
But in my kind of weird way of trying to tie this all together, what I'm saying is that where we are at now as a society, it's if you have a problem, if there's something that's bothering you, and you think you're doing the right thing in trying to mitigate it or to alleviate whatever the symptoms may be, and you've gone to every length you possibly can think of, and it still doesn't work, where do you go from there? You
want my actual opinion?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you're going to accept it.
Well, this is the platform for it.
So, here's the thing. If you have a problem, let's say with another person, and you want it resolved, you go through all of the proper channels. The verbal warning, the written warning, to whatever extent, lawsuits, criminal charges, whatever, right? Cease and desist, letters, all of this bullshit. Okay, you go through all of the proper channels, problem still not fixed. What you do then is bring yourself to peace. You make peace with, okay, the problem is obviously not going to be resolved. So what can I do or change about myself, my outlook, or my behavior so that the problem while it exists, does not bother me. Now, I agree with the idea that you have put forth before, that you shouldn't have to deal with it. You shouldn't have to put up with it. I don't disagree with that.
I think you went through a bit of that today.
I'm still going through it. But, it's like the slamming of the doors, for example. Unfortunately, we can ask politely. We can say, "Hey, listen, could you please stop slamming the door?" Okay? It makes our whole house shake. We can have someone send them a letter saying a complaint has been filed. Stop slamming your door. We can sue them for harassment because now they're doing it on purpose and everything. But the fact of the matter is eventually, if that cannot resolve the issue, what can I do so that it doesn't stick to me anymore? I look forward to the future. And I understand that this is a consequence of condo living. We share walls with people. We have to listen to things. We unfortunately hear their vacuuming, their toilet flushing. We hear their doors slamming. We hear them stomping up and down the stairs. And one of these days, we won't have to deal with that anymore, because one of these days we won't live in a condo anymore. And every time I hear the door slam, I just remember that. I think this is one day closer to not living like this anymore. Some people will make a joke out of it and say, it's okay, because eventually they'll be dead. I used to say that about my old neighbors all the time. Eventually, they're just going to die.
Now, put yourself in my shoes for a second.
Okay.
And on a semi-regular basis, you are getting bombarded from a multitude of sides. You're dealing with shitty neighbors who are slamming their doors and not picking up after their dogs.
Which I do deal with.
But in addition, you are having trouble with coworkers.
Which I am.
Having trouble with your boss.
Which I am.
Dealing with people cutting you off.
Yep.
Dealing with people inconveniencing you elsewhere on the road.
Yes. All of these things I do. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. I refuse. I believe that it is a strength of will that I have formulated for myself, because I refuse to let jackassery take my peace away. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm always smiley, that everything is rainbows and butterfly kisses. That doesn't mean that I even see the good in everything. I get pissed off. I bet you watched me have a bad day today. I have bad days. I have days where I get silent, where I don't want to look at people or listen to people. I will go to work and put my earplugs in, because just the noise of knowing that other people are around me, especially people who cause me grief, just knowing that they're there bothers me. Every sound. And it makes it difficult for me to concentrate. And it makes it difficult for me to get through my day. And it makes it difficult for me to have peace at the end of it. Gets my ire up. Gets my dander up. But I know that it's temporary. And it always passes. Even if it starts right back up again the next day. I come home and I have you. And I have Sadie. And I have a husband checking social media while we're recording a podcast.
I'm waiting. I'm getting it ready for the plugs at the end of the episode. Just saying.
Yeah, but I have things to look forward to. And that's just it. Is everything that I have ever had to deal with. I've got one very specific mantra, and that is that everything is survivable. Everything is survivable. And as long as you can survive it, you can get over it.
I love that about you. I really do. It doesn't necessarily make the toughest days all that much easier, because
of course not.
In the midst of that, it's very difficult to remember what you just said and to be able to put it into practice.
It is. And that's why I always say you got to start.
I wouldn't say I have more good days than bad days. I think I have more neutral days than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I have some days where I am just super appreciative of everything that I have
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that I'm alive and I'm healthy. And but once in a while those awful days rear their head where it's just like nothing goes right. Everything pisses me off.
Yep.
And my mind immediately goes to blaming not the character of other people, but just the what I want to assume is their own ignorance.
Well, you have a problem with ignorance.
Yeah.
You do.
Because there are certain instances where it can't be chalked up to anything else.
But you also believe that all ignorance can be fixed, and since you recognize ignorance in other people, you don't see a problem with being the one to point it out so that you can be the one to fix it.
I think my ignorance can be fixed. I don't necessarily know about anybody else, but again, my mind is headed towards trying to find the root of it. Trying to, in my own mind, without speaking out loud, be like, what does that stem from? What would cause this person to do this?
I have always had an issue with not understanding the motivation behind certain things. I truly, like, even for myself, I mean, so much of my therapy in the last 5 years has been me trying to understand why. Why is behavior X, Y, and Z? Why does this bother me? Why do I react certain ways to certain things? And it's because understanding the why makes it easier for me to process. Like, if I understand why someone is being mean to me, it makes it easier for me to decide where to go from there. If someone's being mean to me and I have no idea why, if I truly don't believe that I ever did anything to wrong this person and everything like that, it will stick in my craw. But if I know why, it's like, oh, well, they don't like me because, because they think I take myself too seriously, or because they, X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, whatever. Then it becomes one of those things like, oh, well, okay, whatever. It's easier for me to brush off. So I understand to an extent what you're saying, but to me, and again, it takes practice, but like for me, it's a matter of not even not caring. It's just understanding, like, not only do I not have the power to change other people, I don't have the desire to do it either. If someone is the type of person who is willfully ignorant of factual information, if someone is blatantly biased against certain, aspects of people's character and things like that, if someone is the type of person to refuse civil debate or, constructive criticism or anything like that, or someone who thinks that, saying that idiocracy is not the end all be all of filmography, just to take an example off the top of my head. Like, for anyone to do those things, it's like, okay, so when it comes down to is you're not the type of person that I would waste my time trying to be friends with. And I can be civil to just about anybody. I can be civil. I can even be polite. I can be outright pleasant sometimes. But at the end of the day, that person's existence does not affect me. I have been around so many people, and this is probably one of the things that people have said, and I have been called cold and apathetic more than I can even fathom counting to by a multitude of different types of people. And this may be one of the cold things that people say about me. It's one of the things that make people think that I'm as cold as I am, even though I'm a delight. I'm positively a warm and gushy person inside. You know me.
I do.
But the fact of the matter is that most of the people that I have encountered in my 41 years on this earth, if they ceased to exist tomorrow, my day would not hiccup. Shrug.
That's bold.
It's true.
You're a bold kid, Arnold.
It's true. Like, it's not like I wish ill on anyone. I don't wish many people to disappear. You know, and I would never truly wish any harm on anyone if for no other reason than I believe in karma, and I won't do that. But if, like I said many times, like if certain people just stopped existing tomorrow, like I don't even think that I would take a moment to just be like, oh damn.
You know,
like it is what it is.
I told you yesterday that I at work was going back and listening to old episodes of That Talking Podcast, and
boilerplate.
You know, episodes from months and months ago had us talking about frustrations with coworkers and people in our lives that, you know, again, we shouldn't let rule our thoughts or get it, you know, like, and now that I think about it, a lot of those people are no longer in our lives, and I'm much, much happier. I'm much more content. And the thing I've noticed recently is that when I do take the break from podcasting of all kinds and go back to just listening to music as I drive along, it brings me back to a place where it's just like, I don't have to be frustrated. I don't have to be angry. I don't have to be I don't have to, like, you know, absolutely no, and I never have to know what's going on every minute of every day. Again,
I think that it's a sickness.
It's kind of like an addiction.
Yes.
You know, again, I've gone the same.
I think it's the same thing with people who cannot go a day without
social media.
See,
now I've taken lengthy breaks from social media. I've taken lengthy breaks from my hobbies. I've taken lengthy breaks from podcasts. Breaks are good. Breaks are absolutely, for those listening, breaks from things that you are too into, that some may say are not healthy to be so involved in. Breaks are okay.
Yes.
You know, put your phone down for a little bit.
Amen.
Go outside. Get some you know, one of the most interesting, like, I've always hated science, and when I
okay,
but we like science as like a class to take in school.
Yeah.
I had to take, I think it was chemistry or biology or one.
Well, I'm sure you had to take both of them.
No, I'm in college. Like, I don't think the science, if you're not studying science, I don't think science should be required.
Well, I took college science in high school, so I wouldn't have to take it in college. So I truly don't know what they make you do.
But one of the professors told us that the sun is where you get vitamin D from.
It's a source of vitamin D.
And that sounded like the weirdest thing to me at the time, because I'm thinking to myself, you absorb vitamin D just from being in the sun. Like, you're not consuming anything. You're not ingesting anything. It's just absorbing into your system just from the light, the rays. Like, and I couldn't wrap my head around that at the time. Where the fuck was I going with this?
I don't know. I wish I knew.
Actually, I think I know where. I think it was probably in line with, like, once you get out of your own headspace, and you try to explore, like, what else is out there, explore different means of doing things, you know, talking to different people, considering different perspectives. That's something that I've tried to do in adulthood. I've tried to not be stuck in my bubble, not be in my echo chamber.
Okay.
You know, I know it doesn't necessarily seem that way, given the fact that, you know, I'm always listening to right-wing politics, you know. I had mentioned that I spent a good amount of time listening to this other podcast where this guy would shit talk capitalism all the time and was like a self-proclaimed Marxist or something like that. Turns out one of my friends took this guy's class.
Neat.
And I was just like, that's interesting. So tell me about what the man is like when he's not, you know, on, you know.
When he's not on.
Yeah. So, but I mean, honestly, I think the real test, I guess, for lack of a better word, is to see if I'm able to put what you're telling me into practice.
Can I Can I throw out an analogy?
Go for it.
Ready? Okay. You have glasses now.
Oh, God.
You have glasses now that you should be wearing.
Just to see, you know.
Yeah, just to see. And I understand, as I've worn glasses since I was 9 years old. Okay. I understand the boy has had glasses since he was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And never wears them because he only remembers them about 15% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And you have only had them for a few days,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't wear them much because your eyes are not getting used to them. And it's uncomfortable, which is understandable because that's what happens.
But it's also...
I'm not done. Wait. This is good. I'm telling you.
Is it?
Yes. So you don't wear them regularly because when you wear them for short periods of time, it affects you. It might be a little, too much or too sharp and everything. The difference is noticeable. And I understand that, okay? Because I have other pairs of glasses that I would love to wear in addition to my Ray-Bans, but I never do because the shape of the lens makes everything feel so different. So I never bother to wear them. You don't wear your glasses regularly, so you can't get used to them. Now, you talk about that it's difficult to put these things into practice and everything. And I keep telling you, you just have to start. You just have to try. And you say, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. And the fact of the matter is it is once you really dive face first into it. Like your glasses. If you wore them more regularly, you would get used to them.
And then everybody will like me. And I like myself.
So that's just an analogy.
That's an inside joke.
It's just one of those things.
Well, then you know what? If I'm going to put what you're saying into practice, and I'm going to start wearing my glasses regularly,
good for you,
and get the boy to wear his glasses regularly, so our eyes don't,
so you don't
end up being fucked up.
Off, yeah.
Even though I don't really need them because I can still see fine.
I tried your glasses on over my contacts, and let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with your eyes.
Then you should be able to put practice into 75 hard.
No. I don't need 75 hard.
No, you need 80 hard.
No, I don't. I don't need any of that because...
But if you dive head first into it,
I don't
and you put the pedal to the metal, and you really grind it out, you'll be able to do it.
You do it.
Okay.
Leave me out of it.
Challenge accepted.
God, I don't give a shit about who's challenging you. It's not me.
So basically you're telling me to wear my glasses, but you're not going to get yourself into a health program.
I am in a health program. I'm just not in that one. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Are you challenging my dedication to my health right now?
I am.
I'll smack you one when we get off the air.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
because I'm not a dick.
Exactly.
But you're being kind of a dick to me.
No, you're getting a little personal right now.
You are taking my disinterest in this man and his fitness program very personally.
Not at all.
You are, though.
Not at all.
I'm telling you right now.
That's a double standard if I ever heard one.
No, I'm telling you right now that when
you are telling
me that
this is a real-time disagreement.
This is what this guy wants, and this is what he says, and this is the challenge. And I'm like, okay, and you're like, yeah, so you don't even care. And I'm like, no, because I don't. I have a health program. I work out, I watch what I eat, and I focus on my goals. My goal is not to do this man's challenge for 75 days, and there's nothing goddamn wrong with that.
And my goal is to use my eyes without glasses for as long as I can before I actually need them. And there is nothing goddamn wrong with that.
No, and I've told you, I'm not going to crawl up your ass about your glasses.
You kind of just did.
No, I was making an analogy.
And I was making a little joke. And on that note...
Ugh, fine.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it.
Mm-hmm. And tap it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in to that talking podcast. This one.
This was a good one.
This was one.
Wow.
It was one. Just probably, yeah. I mean, it was a few of them all in one. But good times, good talk, good friends.
Everybody likes
Everybody liked me. Yes, thank you out there in podcast land. We've had a blast. Find us on social media, DT Andy and JJ Star with 2 R's.
This one is so fed up with us.
You probably won't find me because I'm in Insta jail right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little jailbird.
I broke the rules, apparently.
Yeah, stop peddling your drugs on Instagram.
Stupid goddamn rules. I took a fucking picture
Listen,
of my pill case, of my prescription, essentially my prescription vitamins.
And how do you know that somebody wasn't offended by that like you were offended of our lyric video?
Sweetheart, a lot of people would be offended by that lyric video.
Maybe a lot of people would be.
I have a feeling that quite a bit of your band was offended by that lyric video.
Keep your pill peddling to yourself.
That's what Instagram told me.
Listen, we have 3 simple rules. Instagram's probably got 5.
Yeah, and one is no nipples. The other is no pills.
You save that for Twitter.
Yes, that's for Twitter.
Yeah. You can't put that on Instagram. That's anal.
So find us. Find Love Hard Art on Instagram. Find Tax Collectors and Harlots on Instagram. You got shit to plug. Go.
We certainly do. Thursday, March 27th, we're going to be at Toad's Place, the famous Toad's Place.
Where is it?
New Haven, Connecticut.
Tell people so they know where it is.
Everybody knows where Jim Morrison got arrested. Wait, that wasn't Toad's Place. Never mind.
Winger played at Toad's Place, you know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A lot of people played at Toad's Place. Their posters are all over the wall.
But Winger played there.
So what?
Well, it thrills me.
I'm sure a lot of people you like played Toad's Place. Who? Wait a minute, you're telling me Al Pacino played Toad's Place?
Shut up.
I would
Keep
love
going.
to
Keep
see that.
going.
The next day, Friday, March 28th, Fast Eddie's in New Milford. We are doing the CT All-Stars roller derby benefit again. It was not even like annual. I think we were doing the same thing like 6 months ago. They must be
No.
Yeah.
No, it's been probably close to a year.
I think it was September.
I don't think so. I think it was in the summer.
Either way, great cause, great team, great people.
I won some shit at that last year.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Saturday, April 26th. This is the big one. This is Dead Language Brewing in Hartford, Connecticut. We are bringing Cobber Wrestling, Burlesque, cross-dressing. Drag, thank you.
Cross-dressing.
Same stuff.
No, it's not.
All right. Performance art of all kinds, including live music, to Hartford, Connecticut. Come see the wrestling. Come see the band. Come get our... I don't know if our EP is going to be released by then, but come ask us about it. Get the new t-shirts, get the new merch, get the new back scratchers. Friday, May 9th, Bleachers Bar in Bristol, Connecticut. Saturday, May 31st at Main Street Tavern, Stratford, Connecticut. And Thursday through Sunday, August 14th to August 17th at the Rat's Nest Run in East Durham, New York. Come to the Blackthorn Resort, drink with us, have a good time. Maybe you'll get a soup container like we did. Oh man, those things were fucking just a quart size. Was it a quart?
The sound of me shaking my head right now.
It was a Chinese food soup container.
It was
full.
It was a quart. It was an egg drop soup container of liquor.
Yeah.
And I will not stand by this time for it.
At least we didn't have too far of a travel.
Well, while we're at it, the Westchester Blood and Ink Convention is coming back. It's already been announced. Hooray, hooray for Chef Boyardee. I want to say it's October. It's the first weekend in October. I want to say it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th. And Love Heart Art will be there again, hopefully with coat of arms tattoo. Wink, wink. Ha-ha. And, yeah, we'll have more details as we get closer to it, obviously. I should probably pay for that while I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
We are closing in on the middle of March here. We are just past the Ides of March now, and we are
pretty close to the 1 year.
Inching our way towards season 2. Get ready for some brand new stuff. And do I have to ask you about stuff?
No, it's in the works.
Okay, good.
Okay. I did want to say that the day that you will be listening to this will be our third, mind you, third. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Three times. Wedding anniversary.
Our wedding anniversary.
Third anniversary of the day that we went to that gazebo and we parked off on a side street and just kind of watched as everybody.
We just poked fun at everybody that we were looking at.
We Instagram lived.
We did, actually, and I think that's what gave us away.
Yeah.
was I think that people saw that we were live streaming, watching people at our wedding.
And then we went to Eddie's and we bought tons and tons of drinks.
Yeah.
And, you know,
It was a good time.
Yelled at by drunk people.
And it will be a good time again. And we'll tell you all about it next time. But for now, from the three of us here at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
And we'll talk to you later.